What do we do about the temporary food events? So apparently there is a great concern, a lot of questions about that. So we're trying to address that here. We had a really magnificent PowerPoint. We had a lot of fun putting it together. However, for some reason it's not recognizing it to open it properly. So Bob will continue to do that. And meanwhile, I will try to go through some of the issues without a PowerPoint. I apologize, there's not too much we can do about it. So the first thing that, well, first of all, I think I want to field some questions. Since I don't have a PowerPoint as to here, there, I was going to start with plan review and go all the way down. But what are some of the issues that you're dealing with that you want me to address? None. Okay, yes?
Well, a lot of times you don't get that 14 days or 30 days notice. You're getting people 2 days ahead of time.
Okay.
So the plan review process.
Well, plan review isn't really the same plan review as a permanent establishment. Plan review basically would be, I think I'm going to need to use one of these handouts as a guide.
Make sure she gets it back.
The plan review would basically be an informational interview with the person. And on page 1 would be a sample application. Now you can adapt these if you want. Obviously it's 2000, you might want to update some of this information, but this is just a pattern for you to adopt if you so choose. Every health department should have some kind of a temporary event form, so it will guide the REHS into asking the proper questions. So as far as plan review, this would be a plan review, your interview. So you'd want to ask, you know, of course, who they are, and if they have a place to prepare the food. You want a description of the event, when the event's going to happen. And then you're going to want to ask questions specifically about the menu. And you want every single bit of food that they're going to prepare. Then you want to know where they're going to prepare it, how they're going to bring it over to the establishment. And I think the glitch comes in where what do we do with temporary food events is what part of Chapter 24 do they need to adhere to? Is that a yes? Basically all of it. Now, of course, you're not going to have floors, walls, and ceilings, but all the preparation, the temperatures, the high risk. Remember our check sheet? Have you been using the check sheet? On the check sheet are the 5 risk areas. Okay, there's food, there's cooking of food. There's cooling of food, there's keeping the food cold, there's proper hygiene. On that proper personal hygiene is hand washing, okay? Then there's sanitizing, where the food is going to come from. Every single one of those items need to be addressed in the temporary food events, whether they're out in the field or whether they're under a permanent facility. Okay, Howard, pipe in any time if you want to. So you're going to ask them where the food is going to be prepared. And they say, I'm doing it at home. What do you say? No, you're not. Now, the object of this, which we had a great PowerPoint for this, was to be able to work with these people as much as you can. So you ask them as many questions in the beginning as you possibly can because you want an accurate account of what they're doing. If they tell you they're preparing food at St. Joseph's Church, call St. Joseph's Church. Ask if they're using it. You don't want to get to the event and find out it's homemade, because in that event, you're going to have to not allow them to serve the food. So you don't want to get that far. So that's why the interview process is very, very important. You're going to want to ask them, after you find out the food source and you find out they do have a food source they're making at such and such a restaurant, you want to find out if that restaurant is under a satisfactory rating, if indeed they're using that facility, where are they going to sanitize their equipment, are they going to use that specific facility? And And then once you're confident that it seems on paper and during your interview everything's okay, you get to the site and then you find out everything's really not okay. That's when you really start to have to work with these people. Okay, so for hand washing, what would you suggest for hand washing? They're out in the middle of a field, okay? And they say, well, we're using the sink outside the porta-johns, and it's maybe about a quarter of a mile away. Would that be satisfactory? Well, how can they satisfactorily wash their hands? Let's make this a group effort here. Yes?
On site, like they have to have a portable sink, or they have to have some kind of running water.
Yeah, a portable sink is good. But what if they don't have a portable sink? Is that Nino? Hey, Nino, how you doing? What's up?
I would say get like maybe go to a supermarket, get one of those Deer Park rectangular gallon things, 2.5 gallons.
Okay. He's saying to get a cooler that you put maybe drinks in. Is that correct? No? What are you saying?
Bottled water.
How are they going to wash their hands with that?
It has a nozzle on it.
Okay, if it has a nozzle on it, that's one. It has to have a nozzle, but then there has to be a requirement to that nozzle. Okay, you know some of the nozzles you push, and then as soon as you stop pushing it goes off? Well, how are they going to wash their hands like that? It has to be a nozzle that you could turn on and the water or the liquid flows until you turn it off. Okay, a Gatorade container or an iced tea container that has a couple of gallons of water in it, and now they have to have a bucket underneath it. Okay, I'm sorry I can't show you some slides of this. I endless apologies here, but you'd have a I need to use my hands on a time. Okay, can you hear me? No.
Yes.
Okay. So you would have this container, and you would turn on the spigot, and the water's flowing, and you're going to have a bucket underneath it, and they'll be able to wash their hands with soap. Okay? We do not allow just simply the sanitary wipes because they're not effective against norovirus.
Mary Lou?
Yes, you got it?
No, it's not the original. It's the original. It's off the course.
All right, well, it's better than
You're doing fine.
something.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Want to see that?
Okay, well, yeah, we'll see that one. We'll just